Blitzcrank aimed at N-Rated.
So this time Fnatic is targeting Exter. I wonder if they'll also ban... No, Fnatic's not going to ban Caster. And I caught myself before I said it because they would very much rather have Xpeke get through to this. The interesting thing to me, though, pressure Leona anyway, and those are usually the bans for N-Rated.
Exactly, unless you're going to go with Thresh and Leona as the next two bans, it's a difficult one to decide. They've actually banned out Shen there, Fnatic just before that banned out Elise, and they will ban out Kassadin. A reverse prediction.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so they banned Kassadin because they don't want him to have to play against it. Okay, here we go. They banned Kassadin. He wants to pick Zed, even though it's a hard counter. They've been picking Zed so many times. I wouldn't be surprised if Zed isn't banned if Fnatic first picked it. Well, let's have a look then. They've got 5 or so seconds to figure out this final ban here. And just a quick note, Babetta actually had some real mouse problems before this one. He's actually playing with a brand new mouse coming into this game, so we'll see if that affects things. So those delays affecting things, and that was not what I expected. They go for the Nasus. That's very much just a cyanide pick. They abuse movement speed, Fnatic does, more than any other team, so they always bring at least one global and tons of movement speed prediction. They like Nunu as a support. They're one of the few teams that still does that because of the Blood Boil. Jace is also something Soaz likes a bunch, and the Wither, 95% slow. Aside from Thresh, that's like the highest percent slow in the game. Yeah, exactly, and Thresh is still open. We should mention that here, which Giants may want to take away this round. I mean, there are a lot of things that they'll probably want to pick out here. It looks like we are going to be seeing a Kennen. Of course, that is Jimbone's AD carry of choice. Zyra, on the other hand, we've seen in both the support and the mid lane role for Giants. Yeah, the last time Giants picked Zyra as well, it was a support, and I like that lane. That is like one of the harassiest supports you can get. She's got 575 range, which will outrange almost every AD carry except for Varus. It's going to make it to that point because then they can match with range, so the trade harass would be very good. And Morden on Kennen is just, not Morden on Kennen, it will be Jim Bones on Kennen. Incredibly potent, and that's what he started the season off of, draw little bans, and he has been playing it lately, so I'm glad they're kind of back to their roots. Yeah, that Kennen coming in, interesting to see how that one goes down. Varus, of course, has been a massively popular champion recently. Zed is another one in there as well. We've seen how strong Zed is. Honestly, I think he's worth a first ban from any team. Maybe not the blue side. This is the strangest thing I've been talking about too, is a lot of the champions that are incredibly strong can be countered, right? But the players haven't yet found a counter to Zed. They don't know what beats him in lane yet. They don't see where his weaknesses are in the game. Whether they exist or not is yet to be found out, but that's one of the reasons you kind of either have to ban him or pick him really early, which is why it's so surprising to me, actually, that it might have just been because Exter hasn't played much Zed. Zed is a very technically complex champion to play around, but it allowed Fnatic to pick it third and get the Nasus early. So let's see what Giants had in there. Of course, that Zyra could be the support, that Zyra could be in the middle lane. We've seen Exterminate and Babetta running in previous games here, so what will they go up with? Knowing that this Zed is going to be in the middle against them, most likely. I mean, could end up with Soaz in the top, but I just expect from how things have gone that that's Peke. Yeah, and here's the thing about these picks. They want to pick a counter in probably the mid lane for what Peke is, but I've been talking to them, like I haven't actually talked to too many mid lane players aside from Ocelot. I'm like, all right, what's the counter pick to Zed? And they're like, that's a really hard one. I don't know what counter Zed. You have to ask Froggen. And I'm like, I don't know yet. So I couldn't predict these picks, and it looks like they went Kha'Zix Jarvan. That could probably be Jarvan jungle and probably Kha'Zix mid, but honestly, we've seen a lot of Kha'Zix in both of these positions. Yeah, we certainly have. Fnatic, they obviously have their AD carry, what we think will be the mid lane, and the jungler, there's a Karma, which, I don't know, it's Soaz at the end of the day in the top lane. Probably could throw a Karma out. Yeah, I was actually watching Voyboy's stream, and he played a Karma top. He went 0-10. So, the story was going somewhere, and twist ending. Get away from Karma. 0-10. I don't think he's going to be going with that Karma. Karma's rework has been announced, so definitely not on this patch. We're on patch 3.03, which is one behind the one that just happened on live. So Taric is really strong. We haven't seen those nerfs yet, and we also haven't seen a Taric. But Fnatic probably won't go for that. Nunu for the move speed. Which is, you know, Nunu Varus, a lane which they've had and really enjoy. So look at this, Katarina coming in. This is interesting. So this would mean that Soaz is probably playing Zed because Peke is legendary for his Katarina. A lot of teams used to like banning Katarina out in these situations. So this is just the assassin-y comp from Fnatic taken to the extreme already.
So it's looking like if this Sona pick stays here as well for Giants, and it will be locked in there. So it's going to be a Zyra mid lane.
So they might have done this because of the potential dive Fnatic has. Like, Zyra is one of the hardest things to dive in on, but I worry about Fnatic's ability to like blink through the Zyra stuff and still get to them. I look at Giants lineup and I see pretty strong laning, especially the Sona cannon. The Fnatic's gonna have to get by, but I don't necessarily see too much hard engage to go on them. Like, they have Jarvan, and no, I'm talking myself into a corner. They have a lot of hard engage. That's what they're going to be going for.
So we talked about Fnatic's real like for global abilities in there, the Shens, the Twisted Fates to move around the map. If you can't get those global champions, the next best thing is going to be teleports. And right now, Peke and Soaz are both sat on a teleport. Of course, we still have a little bit of time. That could still change.
We've talked about Fnatic's playstyle so much this weekend already, and that's exactly what we're going to see. It's the global playstyle. I'm going to wait another second to get the confirmation on the double teleports here, and it is in. So Soaz and XPK both, nope, only one. Only XPK's teleport.
Yeah.
Summoner spell, quickness on us, but I think that's enough for them. Peke is the playmaker. Soaz is the one who combos with him occasionally. That's going to be awesome for them.
Now we see the fans here in the Zenith Arena. They've just not lost any energy. In fact, I think they've gained it as the week's gone on here. Or the weekend, I should say, has gone on here in Lille. So hopefully we're going to see another cracking game here. Giants, again, we talked about their situation being coming into this weekend tied for 6th and 7th. It's only got worse for them as things have gone on, though. I mean, their game against Evil Geniuses, they only had one ban because they turned up late today, about an hour and a half late. They had a ban, had a punishment of having 2 bans taken away from them. This time they've had them back, of course, but if it's going to get any easier, we're going to find out, but I'm honestly not sure. Fnatic are in form.
Yeah, and Fnatic's not the team you want to play if you're looking for an easy matchup, that's for sure. They seemingly are able to pull off their strategy against everyone. Giants does look like they have a pretty good handle on what Fnatic's doing there. I mean, I still look at that composition, tons and tons of hard engage. I just wonder if they're going to be strong enough in lanes and if they're going to communicate well enough. The nice thing about them is that communication barrier, since they are all Spanish speaking, that they could at least get that through.
So here we go then, Fnatic versus Giants, our penultimate game of the day. Of course, a little bit later on we will have another game coming up. That'll be this game 7, as we are going to see Samus here actually caught out inside of the jungle. He is going to flash away. Yellow Star doing a lot of damage to him. And well, Samus burning his flash right from the get-go. That's surely Cyanide rubbing his hands together.
That's Fnatic just getting in the right places immediately from 1 minute. There's the pressure. They beat him to the spot. So Samus wanted to go scout out, do that defensive early level 1 opening, and he just ran straight into a Nunu. Nunu iceballed him, made him burn his flash straight away, and now Fnatic has the 2 deep wards. They're going to be able to track where Morden starts in the jungle, but Giants is not going to be able to track where Cyanide is.
Yeah, that's the perfect start that they were looking for here. Fnatic still all 5 men down on the bottom side of the map. It looks like Soaz will go head-to-head with Kha'Zix in this top lane, unless they have any last-second change-ups here. In terms of the jungle starts, we did see that Jarvan on the top side there by the race. Cyanide will be doing exactly the same on the other side, and as I say, it will be Soaz versus Samus in that top lane. It's looking like I have it wrong, because the bottom lane, the support AD carry of Fnatic, are going top side.
Yeah, so there was a lot of early game swapping around here for Fnatic. The fact that it's 2 minutes and they still haven't shown any of their lanes definitely means they have that delayed entrance. But yeah, absolute 2v1, but it's the reverse 2v1 like we saw a little bit earlier. Neither of them have access to the double golems. They almost mind-gamed each other into this situation. I'd have to say that it was Giants who wanted the 2v2, which is why they would have went into the kind of bad 2v2 lane, which is the one without the double golems, and Fnatic mind-gamed it just right, going top.
So talk us through these 2v1s. We've already mentioned Kha'Zix once already today, I think, in terms of his 2v1 potential, but talk us through Zed.
Zed is the one, when I was talking with Wicked, that he loves the most for 2v1s, and it's all about trying to find these weaknesses for Zed. Right now, Soaz will be able to clear the wave pretty well at turret. When he hits 6, he can go aggressive, and his wave clear / safety in a 2v1 is almost unmatched right now, so it's a great thing for Fnatic to have that 1v2 change. And you look at the other side, right, and it's just the matter of Kha'Zix in the other top lane he's not that good of a 1v2. He can't clear the waves as he does walk through the ward.
So Cyanide is up there. What's Samek's going to do? He's still level 1 here. I mean, got that 1 CS going. Let's see how this one all works out. Morden actually starting to work his way up there as well. So Cyanide, you know, they've spotted his position. Morden probably just going to wait off towards the side here. Actually will be spotted there by Cyanide. They've pinged it.
Cyanide doesn't know that he's walked through a ward, but they do know that there's a double stack there. Some teams do brute force a 3v2 tower dive, but that's normally when they have a lot of armor stackers in Taric or Jarvan to soak tower hits or Leona. Fnatic doesn't have that right now, and Cyanide's just content actually stealing the double golems while Morden sits at the turret waiting.
Nice little pick up there by Fnatic. Even with the fact that they're not going to get this gank down, actually Cyanide's still waiting inside of this brush there. Is the Wither going down? Spirit Fire goes down, but in the end, Morden just backs away, but still, he's going to be scared now of going south into his jungle. And
this is kind of a bad situation, though. They're not getting any pressure on that turret up top, whereas Giants is relentlessly pushing this bottom. So even though the 1v2 for Soaz is much better, the Sona Cannon right now is applying superior pressure onto the turret because they had no jungle support for Soaz to help the turret stay alive.
Well, Soaz has gone back down there. We saw that Morden is also moving down towards his own race, but Giants may take the turret here 4 minutes 20 into the game, and it will be that bottom turret falling, and now Cyanide is again up in this top lane, but I've got a bit of a deja vu going on here, Jet.
Morden knows that he's there to guard, and especially since they saw Cyanide there again, this bottom lane can continue to push. Look how low they got Soaz in the bottom lane. Unfortunately, though, Jims took a bunch of damage. That might stop that push.
Yeah, there is a ward in the tri-bush, which Peke could teleport into if he's been very ballsy for that one, but looks like he's more content to stay safe. Fnatic going to finally be putting some pressure down now onto this top turret, but it's going to be a minute or so at least before that one goes down here. With those waves coming in, Jarvan is still on the top side as Peke will jump in there on towards Extermin. And what do you think to this middle lane here? I mean, Zyra versus Katarina, who's going to have the upper hand here in the lane phase?
This is one of those kind of skill matchups that Ocelot was talking about earlier, where it's really just about juking your skill shots and using them at the right time. So if Exter extends too many of his spells and Peke jumps by them, Exter's going to be in a lot of trouble. But if Peke jumps into a route, he's going to be in big trouble.
That turret's still being hammered away on here by Yellow Star in the top. He's actually got a couple of minions in there, will take it down. 5.5 minutes in, that's the second turret of the game. So has even piled a bit of pressure onto this bottom lane now.
And that was a really good race by Fnatic to make sure they got that turret down. You could tell Giants wanted to keep the one turret advantage, and that's why they swapped their support and AD carry up top immediately. Peke actually did a bunch of damage on Expert, but that's just going to be a trade back and forth.
Yeah, using the ultimate in there as well. We saw the flash away from Extermin. Probably would have died there in the end if he had not gone for that option. So good decision by him, but it's going to mean that he starts to fall a little bit behind in the CS compared to Peke. Morden is the one that's going to be trying to soak all that up so that it's not lost to the tower. As Jimbones and Rebecca now coming towards his top side, but Fnatic have that AD carry support there.
And this is the lane that Giants wanted at the start of the game. They wanted the 2v2 lane. They are also an item up right now. Jims has a Vampire Scepter, and Yellowstar has not been back to shop yet, so they want the pressure here. But Fnatic knows there's the teleport coming in from behind.
Oh, this could be very, very dangerous. What are they going to do with it? Babetta going to get exhausted. He's going to be the one that gets focused. They're waiting for the flash over the wall. This is perfect play coming out of the XPK and crew, and there is first blood for Varus.
They knew exactly the moment that Giants wanted to capitalize on that 2v2, and they punished it. Now, Giants is trying to push down onto the mid lane, but I don't think they have enough minions, and there are 2 Fnatic members coming down. If they want to, I think they can fight this.
This could be dangerous. I see XPK just going to shumpo into the back line there of his own minions, just to make sure that he's behind them, or in front of them, I guess, from the Fnatic point of view, really. And that will leave us at 1-1 in turrets, 10.1 to 8.8 thousand gold at this stage. So Fnatic starting to work it out nicely.
And we're already seeing the Fnatic split push pressure coming through here. Look where Soaz just was down at the bottom of the map. He was pushing up without a turret and without wards, but because he knew where he was on the map, he felt safe. Everyone on Fnatic has a very good sense of where people are, even if they haven't warded heavily.
Soaz being caught out finally. Morden spotting his position. There are a couple of wards down from either side on this bottom part of the map. If we look at the CS there as well, Soaz, because he's had that time alone there, 52 to 31 currently over Kha'Zix. The middle lane has actually become a lot more even as Fnatic look to steal away the red buff.
Yeah, and the only reason I think that mid lane got a little closer is because Xpeke roamed up to the top lane and gave Extra a bunch of free farm. But the fact that Fnatic was able to take that red buff was a lot of the preemptive wards they've already put in the jungle, and this is a lot of people going up for Sona again. They still have their flashes available though. Let's see if they can get them.
Oh, Varus ulti comes in here, Babetta gonna be in all kinds of trouble. He does have, oh no, he doesn't have the flash. He'd already used that just previously, and they're gonna keep tracks on him here. There goes the snowball. This is another one for Yellow Star.
And Kennen is also going down.
Oh, they've got in there at the backside as well. Peke coming right up through the enemy jungle, and the coordination from Fnatic, you just see it there, is sublime.
This one is kicking off a lot faster than their game against Dragonborn. So again, Extra trying to get the pressure down onto the mid turret, but Fnatic has now roamed top twice, and if they can't get the mid turret out of this, it's a failure. I wonder if Peke can get there in time.
Well, we see Fnatic here going to put down the pressure on this upper inner turret as Peke actually dives in there. He's just about kept the turret alive as well, so good job from Peke, but can he stand the pressure that they're going to bring in here? The duo lane is going to be coming back with Kennen and Sona. Sona not level 6 yet, so no crescendo to throw their way, but that should be coming up here shortly. Giant's reply is that middle outer turret.
And usually Fnatic is the ones who are up in towers. This game is a little different for them. Despite having the global pressure, they are going for the gank kills up top and really trying to keep Jims and Babetta down. But because of that, they've lost a bit of turret pressure, so they have to be very careful to make things happen right.
Oh wow, Soa's actually going here on towards Samox, and Samox actually managing to come out nicely. If that one didn't use his flash, put the ignite down, and may look to head him off. Soa's coming back into that lane, trying to get as many ticks as he can of those health pots to get him back up towards the health totals that we saw there for Samox. But if we look down the items, we have seen a couple of things being bought up here. The BF Sword Vamp Scepter, oh that was close, Void Spike's almost hitting Soa's. Actually, he's gonna stay for this one. Is he gonna go in on towards him? Yes he is, but not going in there fully. Obviously did use his ultimate in that last encounter.
Right, and we were talking about the items real quick. I mean, the Hextech Revolver on Xpeke is really for early sustain. You don't see many Katarinas getting that anymore. I'm not sure what his full logic is, and what Xpeke just did in mid lane is something you kind of have to do normally against Fnatic. He warded for the dead turret, so it's essentially like they still have the vision of a turret and they don't want to get outplayed because they're down turrets. So now all of that looks like Giants though. 4 to 5 members in Dragon. Oftentimes Fnatic will trade objectives for turrets, and now they're pushing mid.
Fnatic pushing through that middle. The Dragon has been taken here by Giants. Can they turn this one around? Babetta now is at level 6, so they do have that crescendo if they need it. There's the hail of arrows being thrown out just to slow that Giants assault, and Giants have managed to cover their tower. It's lost half of its HP, but crucially it stays alive, and they pick up the Dragon. That brings them back here, not quite leveling gold, but they're pushing at 600.
Yeah, Giants is doing their best to stay in this game without actually fighting, which is normally what we've been saying all weekend about Fnatic. So they've gotten the Dragons, they're up 1 turret. They successfully got the Dragon without giving up a turret, which is a very tall task to do against Fnatic. Looking at Soaz, with that Bilgewater Cutlass, he's been going in all in on Samox quite a few times here. I think he's going to reach a point where he can blow him up because Samox doesn't have any health aside from that Elixir of Fortitude. He would be very vulnerable on Kha'Zix here to the Zed pressure. And because Jims is splitting up top, Fnatic also has extra men middle.
Yep, and as we said in that last push by just after the Dragon, that Fnatic have got that turret down to half HP. Yellow Star avoiding the roots in there, and they've got 4 men, so this is going to be a turret down here for Fnatic. Will they go any further? Xpeke was edging forward as though he was ready to dive in there and get the ultimate running, but in the end backs away from it. Soaz is still putting pressure on this bottom lane, and Fnatic doing textbook move here are going to rotate around to it.
All of the rotations for Fnatic, and this would almost be like a perfect time for the Dragon to be up. So it's actually really good that Giants got it when they did, because once they lost that mid turret, they've lost their presence right now, and they are going to be on the run again. Turret number 3, the right rotation. Giants was not ready for that, Joe.
Oh, and Xervin's in trouble here. Actually, Peke will go in. What a flash away. Avoids the Zyra knockup and the crescendo. And I don't think he would have died after that either, but to be honest, he's forced 2 vital ultimates that could, be bad news for Giants if they end up getting into a fight coming forward.
Yeah, and that is just Peke being the playmaker. He has so much confidence in these situations, and again, look at this. He had 1 ward in the upper jungle, where the blue buff would be for Giants, and he was freely hitting the turret because he remembered where everyone else on Giants had been previously. He knew that they had 3 people that were just bottom lane. He knew he'd gotten extra low and extra wasn't running back yet, and he knew there was no crescendo threat from Babetta. So it's just like all of the things that he is calculating live, updating in his head is almost next level.
He's got that gunblade finished in there as well. 106 CS with a 101 kills deaths assists ratio. And we can see there the goal 4.3 to 4.1. That's been at a disadvantage in the CS, and also that dragon that we saw taken by Giants earlier on. In terms of the AD carries, it's another dream start for Yellowstar. I mean, he's 2 for 0 up. He is almost level there in the CS as well, but it equates to around about 300 gold. If we look through the items here that both these AD carries have got, the Bloodthirster is already done there for Varus. And
getting your Bloodthirster that much earlier than the other AD carry, even once you get matched, is still a big edge because you get to stack it up. Jims has no idea Fnatic is in here until now. I think he noticed. Here comes Giants to suppress.
I think they pulled that red buff out and he started running across to the side there. Jarvan actually going to smite that one away, and Rayton might get caught out here. He's going to flash, and Morden decides not to jump in on top of him. Here is Peke down at the bottom. Samek's going to be trying to hunt him down. He ends up getting slowed. Peke goes over the other side. Is he going to go in for more here? Samek's is not going to push his luck, and that's what you got to be careful of with that gunblade, to be honest.
Yeah, Peke almost juked so hard there that he decided to go back in. It's like, I completely faked him out. Wait a minute, I do not want to run back. I'm gonna run away from this one. So good escape there. And I do want to talk about that red buff thing one more. That's because jungle minion's now leashed to the nearest thing. He had no vision of that red buff when it got in there, but because it didn't come back to him, he realized someone was closer to the red buff than him, and it was definitely an enemy. So he was like, all right guys, I need some help.
Covering it up nicely, but look at Cyanide. He's in on the Wraiths again. Going to take the entire camp out with him. And every little helps in terms of denying those creeps there in that jungle. As Peke continues to push. I mean, he's the one with teleport. We've seen him time and time and time again split pushing here. This is the strategy that Fnatic have found that works for them, and they're going to keep doing it until it doesn't work.
Yeah, Peke is top kills in the European LCS. I think he's actually like 3rd in deaths, but he's also top in total gold because you get a lot of money when you're constantly split pushing lanes, always going where the most minions are, making sure it pushed up. This last game on Zed, he had like close to 500 minion kills, and even though we're only 15 minutes in, if this game stretches, he's on pace to get a bunch with Katarina as well because he always plays good lane shovers.
There is blue buff given over on towards Cyanide. Obviously, it would be nice to have that in on Katarina, but definitely not a must-have.
And check this out. Again, an early Oracles on Giants Babetta. So even though this game is still close, about 2,000, Babetta's sunken money into Oracles. He's got a Sight Stone to what N-Rated has is a Sight Stone, a Cloth Armor, and a Philosopher's Stone. And they're over-warding compared to Fnatic. This is something that Crepo touched on in the last game. Like, N-Rated will always have more items than the other support, just because of the way Fnatic plays.
Right now, Babetta and Jimbo's actually backing away. They don't have that safety of the tower behind them. Babetta, of course, has already died twice. Can't really afford to die right now because of that Oracle and the money that is invested into that one. Soaz pushes up middle as well. Zyra actually is going to be trying to head home, and Soaz just been a nuisance there, stopping Extermin from getting himself back. Extermin does have that Rod of Ages, by the way, already complete.
And Fnatic doesn't have a huge teamfight composition. They got like double assassins. Their front line is really just Cyanide walking into things. So if a teamfight breaks out around the dragon here, they might not want to engage on that. N-Rated gets caught.
Gets caught out. Zyra ultimate going to knock him in the air here. This is going to be a finisher. Actually, Samox leaps in there to take that kill. That will put him at 1-0-0, and that's just in time for the dragon to come up. Entire team of Giants there. Fnatic not going to be going for it.
Giants had the timer from the last time they killed Dragon, and they decided to use this moment to make the big play. So many times, you do a gank before the Dragon, so you don't have to fight over it. Fnatic had to completely concede. That was a good play by Giants.
Surprisingly enough, Peke is pushing the top lane out now. Whoa! No minions on the bottom lane for him to push through, so he's just going to go top. Yellowstar and Cyanide are going to be joining him as they do decide to go in on towards Samox. Peke tanking up the turret there a little bit. He will flash away there as Morden comes in. There's another jump around. Morden is still going on this one, doesn't have Cataclysm. Obviously used it earlier on when they took down N-Rated, but Jimbo's doing a similar thing for Giants in the bottom.
And Jimbo is actually getting quite farmed on Kennen here. He's going for an Infinity Edge. N-Rated trying to hold him at the bottom, but this is a good thing for Jims. Like, he's going to continue to farm this lane until Fnatic sends more help.
Wow, goes in there for absolute zero and rated. Gonna get the snowball down, and well, that probably made Jimbones think that someone else was in hot pursuit there as he goes up into the jungle. And rated not gonna let him be taking these golems away, and he actually mistimed the consume there, but still got it with the auto attack after.
Yeah, he managed to slap it silly and get rid of that giant golem. 67 gold for that thing. Like, that's a pretty substantial swing. That's 120. That's almost like half of a solo kill. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it was a pretty good golem steal, man.
Nice steal. Jimbones inside of the bush here. And... now he's in trouble. Now he's in a lot of trouble as he is going to put his ultimate down. In comes Soaz, who is going to get stunned up here, but can they follow in for it? One more hit needed. In comes Jarvan from the side to get the knockup. Where's Jimbones going? Soaz splashes in for the kill.
Soaz tracked him with his ultimate on the way in, and somehow Yellowstar also died to Samix in the top lane. So Giants countering these plays, even as incredible as it seemed. Look out, Samix, can you escape?
Oh, there goes the slow, but he is withered here. In comes the Q. Not doing too much damage right now, but with Wither on, he's just going to stick to him here. One more hit. Oh, there we go. Finished off by Cyanide. Nice reply.
There was half a second left on Samix's leap. If he would have lasted a split second longer, he could have been over top of that wall, but it's not, and this game is actually turning out to be pretty close, Joe.
And Nunu's just taking away the blue buff there for Fnatic. That's more gold for N-Rated. He's doing a good job here in the jungle, and I suppose that's the beauty of having the Nunu in there. That, you know, that smite-like spell that he has with the consume can be brilliant at getting in there and stealing out those jungle creeps.
And the biggest thing is, even though XPeke was off doing something else, both of their solo lanes, energy and no resources, if you look at Zed and XPeke, him taking the blue buff is actually really good just for their team in general, even though he's just a regular Nunu support.
A regular lonely supporter. There is Peke, who I was going to say there's a ward right on top of that pink ward there. Crowd going to cheer that one in. Peke not going to be caught hanging around, but look at this. They may try and bait in because Soaz is inside of that brush right now. This could be very, very interesting here.
Fnatic
lives in these going in there, they're going in on towards Babetta. Not quite got the damage as Jimbones comes across, but here is Katarina. Nice crescendo coming in. Soaz going very low. Finished off by Jimbones. And now the rest of Giants are coming around the side, but Katarina not going to be an easy one to catch up to with that Shumpo. Peke already getting himself away, and I can't see Jarvan catching him here.
That was a great reaction by Giants. They knew that Fnatic loves staying in those brushes. They run people around the map, and then they wait until they get lazy and split push one of those brushes. But Giants knew where they were coming. Samux was already split pushing the other lane, and they turned that around really well.
Samux is possibly going to take this turret here in that middle lane. Just with the Void Spikes getting rid of the minion waves coming in there from the side. Wither is now going to be down. He takes one turret here as he goes. Spirit Fire is down. Are they going to be able to finish off here? Peke coming in from the side. Can he get in? The ultimate is available here for Peke. And there is the Death Lotus coming down, and he is going to get the kill.
Using the Gunblade slow, they abuse movement speed so much. Like, there's no way the Gunblade is the best damage thing for XPeke right now, but it's the best for what his job is. Fnatic's not wanting to teamfight this in the slightest. They don't want to deal with the Cannonball peel, with the crescendos, with the Zyra ultimates. Like, everything Giants has says, we win teamfights. We dump everything down, Kha'Zix gets the resets. Fnatic is about the split push and the speed, and they're doing their best to stay up with this, but Giants, gotta be honest, doing a really good job to keep themselves in this and not fall victim to the split.
Yeah, the Star and N-Rated were actually just waited in that top brush there to see if Jimbones would come out with the lure of CS on the end of the hook, as Soaz now is going to go in there towards Babetta. Is that a fight that he really wants to take there, with Extermin able to root him up there with the crescendo not far away from coming off cooldown as well. In the end, decides probably better not to. He's got that Black Cleaver now finished, working himself up nicely to the Blade of the Ruin King as well.
Yeah, and speaking of more items, you see N-rated, he's only 600 gold ahead of Babetta, but he's got an Aegis of the Legion. That's a 2,000 gold item. He hasn't bought Oracles. He got the Philosopher's Stone earlier than Babetta did. He's already gotten 500 gold generated on it compared to just 133 on the other side, and that is hugely impactful.
And you see the importance of getting that GP10 rolling as early as you can. Speaking of the next objective. Dragon is here in 20 seconds time. Peke can happily push because he has that teleport up and available to him now, should he need to get involved inside of that fight. See Giants doing classic move. Dragon coming up soon, push that middle lane out as far as they can.
They're trying to make sure they're not victim to a backdoor when they're going for the Dragon. They're going to finish off this mid turret as well, trying to combo their objectives together. Dragon's up, but they do not have anyone off for Xpeke. They will have to send someone, which will actually give Fnatic a chance at the Dragon, most likely. Xpeke is right at home in here.
Yeah, just going to be getting himself back. Jimbones is going to recall. Peke getting all the CS there before he decides to back away. Doesn't want to use that teleport here if he can get away with it. Actually, he's going to use the teleport and go straight down towards the Dragon. He's pulled them in. Giants have not been lured, though.
No, but they want this. Giants wants to team fight, and Fnatic might be giving it to him if they can get the initiation. We'll see it right now.
Here we go, Peke diving right into the middle of them. He's going to take a lot of damage. Will he die? Yes, he will. It's Extermin that gets the kill. But are they going to get any back? There is Cataclysm. It's 2 kills coming down for Giants, but in comes Enrated there. He's done a lot of damage, but he will surely fall here in the end. Yes, he will. Yellow Star comes in from the side. They managed to take down another one. Morden is very low. Jimbones might have to get away from this one. Will Lightning rush his way towards mid lane, but Yellow Star's not done. He flashes in, managed to land the hail of arrows. Can he 1 versus 1 Jimbones? He gets stunned up there. They managed to stay alive.
Oh my God!
Cyanide. 1 last hit gets him the kill, but Sona, with the help of the tower, will double up there. It was an ace before. Crazy stuff.
But better the last man standing with the double buffs. The support's going to get some gold finally from this one. That was absolutely crazy by Fnatic. I did not expect them to go in for a full 5-on-5 fight, but they were so close to winning that one. Giants really got themselves back in this game. That's the team fight threat they wanted. They killed 9 players. The Dragon's still alive. I think they're going to go back.
Yeah, I think so too. The way that they fought out for that one, obviously Dragon being hotly contested here, but better going to go home after that double kill and be like, what's that, Enrated? You got your GP10 rolling earlier. Well, I'm caught right back up to you with this one. And we'll see what he brings back to the fight. Randuin's Omen will be finishing there for Nasus. Locket with Jarvan. Deathcap now added in for Extermin as well.
Yeah, so the items are much bigger. Extermin's Zyra ultimate needs to come off of cooldown very, very shortly. It's got 15 seconds left, so they should have it by the time this Dragon's up, unless Fnatic rushed it very quickly. Xpeke's already at like half health before this fight comes up, so we'll see if it has any play. Fnatic decided the fight last time. I wonder if their mindset has changed at all, because they are very split up around them. Will they flank in, or will they go up this Dragon?
Well, it looks like they're at least going to try and poke it there. In fact, they look like they're going to go for it. Cyanide is right on top of them. Soaz coming in from the backside. Soaz has to back away. 2 knockups from the Stranglethorns there, but they this time are winning out on it. Samus goes low. He is finished off. Only Kha'Zix to pick up a kill here for Giants. That was onto Soaz, and they're not done just yet. Yellow Star and Enrated following through. Can they get in on towards Jarvan? I think they're quite happy with the fact that he will get away and they'll be able to push elsewhere.
And look at this, Babetta is dead with his crescendo, what looks like completely available, but it was on cooldown when that fight started, and Sona was out of position, so the fact that Fnatic went at exactly that moment was so key. They gave up the Dragon, but they didn't care. Giants was rushing to get the Dragon because they didn't want Fnatic there, but they rushed ahead of their support who had to go back to base and buy. That was a huge timing window by Fnatic to make that happen, and now they're just getting turrets as a reward.
Yeah, they're going in for this inhibitor turret, which is going to go down. There's nothing Morden can do, but the rest of Giants now have spawned. Look at Peke. He is still pushing here on this bottom inner turret. Doesn't have TP available, though, so needs to be a little bit wary of his surroundings from that one. Actually, Morden's coming in from the side of this one as Samux will jump in onto him. Peke actually dives onto Morden in the end. Can he escape? Nice juke away from the knockup of Jarvan. Gets a speed boost off the W. Slowed after that, but the Shunpo away. You're not catching him.
He is the slipperiest person I have ever seen. He greases up Katarina before every single game just so nobody can catch him. Don't look at me like that, Joe. I like watching Xpeke.
Oh, flash away from Soaz there. Yeah, grease up Katarina, what can I say? No comment after that. Soaz getting away there, did get hit with the Shuriken coming out of Jimbones. This is going to be a turret back for Giants, but 6-4. But look at the gold lead. I mean, it's still not huge at this stage.
No, it's actually still pretty close. It's because even though Fnatic has gotten the 6 turrets down, which is a huge thing, Giants has countered back with 4. Giants has also gotten 3 Dragons, and that's making up for the 5 kill lead. It's making up for the fact a little bit that Enrated got his goal for 10 first, right? All these things are still all right for Giants. Like, if they can somehow get another type of team fight, which Fnatic actually seems fairly content with giving them, we'll see if that changes now that we got Zed and Katarina on opposite sides of the minimap, just split pushing both sides. Giants is still very much in this one.
Where's the next moves coming in there? Where are those oracles to be cleaning up? We're at 27 minutes in, and there is a pink ward for PK. I actually thought there was one on top of his head because his health bar was covering that of the ward. Samux is actually going to face check the bush here. There comes the ultimate. He jumps away, half of his health gone, but not going to die at least. Yeah,
so PK keeping the pressure down, and honestly, Yellow Star, again, with that good start, 5, 2, and 5. He made that one kind of misplay when he overflashed during the one team fight and died to Jim Bones, but super solid play. Fnatic actually de-warding this jungle there. This is the one kind of outer turret they haven't gotten down yet. It looks like they're trying to keep the pressure up here.
Inner turret going to fall. It's only going to take 3 auto attacks from Yellow Star, but now he might get a little bit caught out, and actually Giants had no vision there behind him, so they decided not to go in. His Morden going to be dumped on here by Soaz from a great height there. Half of his health instantly taken away, and you know, he's the tanky one. That's scary.
Yeah, that is not a pleasant sight. Soaz scaling so well into the late game here, and I gotta say, like, Xpeke, it shows you how much he's been split pushing, the fact that he's level 18. No one else in the game is within 2 levels of him. He's always been in the side lanes, getting all those things, and you get a lot from the stats, just from being level 18. It's about 1,500 gold of stats that he's probably ahead of, say, Babetta, who's only level 13. It is another impacting thing that we gotta keep account of.
And his 4-1-4, Leandros is in there as well. Giant's belt as well. In terms of the AD carries, speaking of AD carries, Jimbo's, whoa, that was really close. That probably should have interrupted him there as well. Jimbo's right on top of him. And, well, you get away with things sometimes.
Yeah, that was a real close one. I mean, I'm really curious why Jim Bones popped his ultimate like that, because, like, if you're going to interrupt the recall, you're going to interrupt it with or without your ultimate. Yeah. And now it's down, so he doesn't have it for potential teamfight peel. This is a point for Fnatic to maybe go aggressive, and now they're flanking.
And ready to get it in there. You can see looking for that absolute zero, as we do see the Strangle Thorns coming in there. It will knock Peke up, but Samux coming in from the back. He will die down. There's Cataclysm. It's only on to Soaz, though, and he can get out of that one if he needs to. He gets stunned up by Kennen. It's a double kill here for Yellow Star. He's going to rip through Babetta as well. Oracle down. Triple kill coming out for Yellow Star.
Yeah, and by Yellow Star's positioning by the end of that fight, you realized what kind of fight it was. He was frontlining. Giants wasn't fighting back. They were trying to peel off, but Fnatic was just there entirely. And this is an inhibitor, but it could be a lot more. I wonder if they'll take multiple.
Yeah, and look at that. They've managed to hold Kennen back there, interrupted from his recall. And that means that Yellow Star is actually going to go hunting here. He's going to throw the Halo of Arrows down. There we go. Jim Bones lightning rush his way away, but still, it's time that he's not back home.
Yeah, the only thing about this, though, is Fnatic is probably just going to end up recalling. They didn't have a creep wave pushed far enough up to really help them with the next inhibitor. It's way back there, and who else would go down there except Xpeke to clear it out with Katarina? I really liked that play from Fnatic. It's just that opportunistic play style, and look out, Yellow Star.
Oh, wow, Yellow Star here. He's actually done, like, no damage there. I think if he'd have stood toe-to-toe with him and actually, you know, attacked him there, he could have I mean, look at his build. He's got that Bloodthirster. He's got the Phantom Dancer. He's got a second BF sword. He's got a Last Whisper in there.
The biggest thing that did that in for him is the exhaust, I think.
Yeah.
For some reason, he didn't want to attack during the exhaust, even though he probably should have. You're doing 35% reduced damage with 35% less attack speed during exhaust, so you're not getting much back, but he would have at least put up a better fight. The good thing is Yellow Star didn't bother using his ultimate, didn't bother using barrier, so it is kind of an exhaust for the gold and the death, and unless Giants can turn something around, like with this Baron play, it'll be okay for Fnatic, but as I say that, they might get this Baron.
Yeah, we got Soaz coming in. We are going to see the teleport as well from Xpeke. This could be a moment of madness from Giants if they don't play this one right. The Oracle will get rid of the ward. There we see Soaz baited in at the top side. Where is the push going to come in? Samas, they're going to get slow. There is Absolute Zero coming in. Strangled Thorns will knock a lot of them up. Cataclysm coming down on top as well. First kill, though, is for Fnatic. Second kill for Fnatic. Morden going to fall here as well. He's trying to escape on the top side. Wither will say, no, you're not getting away from that, as Peke gets the reset on the ultimate. Extermin's dead, and that is 5 men down. An ace and a Baron for Fnatic.
Pow, 4v5. I thought when Exter started that fight and land Stranglethorns on 3 people, it would be death for Fnatic, but Xpeke was outside of that. He got off a full charge Katarina ultimate. No one got on Cyanide with his persistent threat from Nasus, and this is absolutely huge for them. Speaking of which, 15-second death timers. Is Yellowstar going to be able to end this? He might at least get the turrets.
He's going for these turrets, at least he's going to get one of them. To be honest, the damage he's putting out there is huge. He's probably going to get both of them here. 5 seconds, actually 3 seconds for Kennen is the next one. He's going to go in straight onto the Nexus. Double super minions coming in here as he actually turns around, puts the ultimate down, misses with that one, but the rest of Fnatic coming in on top of them here. Xpeke putting the damage down, Jimbones will fall. Samex will just about get in there with the heal from Babetta, but the Nexus is down to nothing. The super minions will finish it, and Fnatic defeat Giants here, keep them rooted to the bottom. But likewise, on the other side, Fnatic, top of the league.
Staying up there, and I've seen this game before. Fight, fight, fight. Randomly, they get an ace and just push and end the game. That's the way Fnatic does. They keep the other team on their toes, and they did it again.
Well, that's it from us here at the Cast of This. We're going to go to the analysis for this one, and that will be this time around Jason Kaplan and Ocelot.
Thank you for that, Joe and Jat. And Ocelot, that was quite an exciting game, even though it started off a little bit slow. But let's start with the picks and bans, because I know we were talking about it and we were a little confused, but then we saw an amazing thing happen for Giants, or at least develop.
Yeah, I would say that the picks and bans were 100% for Giants. Like, they literally wanted this to happen, these picks and bans. I think Giants had an extremely good teamfight combo. They had a better 2v2 combo, but then we saw Fnatic swapping lanes. They had a better mid laner in terms of 1v1ing, and the only thing is top laner, like Kha'Zix against Zed, which is kind of like a skill matchup. So they had what they wanted. They probably had what they wanted in terms of in-game as well, because the game was a little bit crazy at some point, and they loved that. At one point, they were only 1k behind. They could have easily won this game, but then, as always, Fnatic's split push is too strong.
And you mentioned the lane swapping, and we were talking about that during the picks and bans. Can you kind of explain what was the benefit and what was the downside to the swaps we saw?
The swaps we saw from Fnatic, so they were Nunu and Varus against Ken and Zona. And Ken and Zona is supposed to beat Nunu Varus pretty easily, if you ask me. So that's why, even though Fnatic was blue side, they 100% wanted that swap. They didn't want to 2v2 them because they knew they would lose it pretty hard. So that lane swap was needed.
Okay.